like I said though, it's not bad because there's two things to brand unity. Brand unity is the second aspect. The first thing that most people have to do is they have to create that history first, right? You need a history so that when someone sees you, you're there.
Yeah.
You have that backlog of content that you're credible. Then it's super important to make sure that your brand is consistent across all platforms. It's not saying that you can't have a different profile picture on LinkedIn in comparison to what you have on YouTube, but the overall feel of your brand is consistent and unified across all platforms. All right, well, we've been waiting for this one for a couple days.
We have, yeah.
I'm pumped. We scheduled it for Monday.
Yeah.
Now it's Wednesday because I was procrastinating. I didn't shave, so now I'm all good.
That and we're just busy overall. So.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
So I can't even say Q sound the sound on this one.
You can't. You have to say Yusuf sound.
I gotta say Yusuf. Yusuf, sound the sound. We got Director Q today, which I'm super excited about. Magnolia's videographer, yes, aka Omid Qaderi, yes, aka Qashus.
Yes, sir.
So, Omid, I should say Director Q, we have had over a year making videos so far.
Yeah. Take
me through that journey, buddy. We've been through a lot already.
We have, yeah. I can't believe what we've accomplished in the last 12 months that I've been here.
Yeah.
Super blessed and grateful to be part of this team. I feel like we have so many different personalities in this office.
It's fun. It makes it fun.
It makes it fun, and you being able to see everyone grow is cool, as well as myself. Going back from my first videos to what we've accomplished with the commercials and stuff is crazy.
Take me through, because we reminisce about this and we go back and look and laugh a little bit. But take me through the difference between your first videos that we made compared to the ones that we make now, because it's night and day.
Yeah, it's funny because I know you've said this many times before, but when you're working on something, you think that that's the best product.
When you do it,
when you're doing it, you think that what you're doing is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way when I started doing videos 3 or 4 times a week for our clients. I thought they were good. I thought
we all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking back at it now, just paying attention to detail has been the biggest thing. You know, paying attention to the white balance was something that was hindering my videos. Putting the stories together. You know, now we're focusing more story-based videos versus just slapping something together.
Story-based and value.
And value, yeah.
Presenting that out and helping to present brands in that way. Yeah. When we started, we were flying by the seat of our pants. Like we were trying our hardest to make as many videos as fast as possible. And in a way it helped us though, because in a way it threw us right into the fire. We had to figure out as fast as possible how to make the best videos possible.
Yeah.
And we got the equipment, we added it all in, and then a year later, like I said, when we sit back and go through those first videos, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. The fact of the matter is we just kind of threw ourselves into it and made something happen. Me obviously having a passion for video obviously helped, but the experience was tenfold, and you can see. I mean, if we go back to my first video versus the most recent videos, they're just night and day. I know we're not there yet. Obviously, there's always more to improve, and I know a year from now and 2 years from now, we're gonna look back and be like, oh my god, like what were we creating beforehand? But I mean, it's part of the journey, and you just gotta realize that, and that's something that I'm learning as I go along, is not to be impatient, knowing that you're just going to continue to get better the more and more videos that I do, the more and more situations we put ourselves in. So
let's talk then about, for the audience, let's talk a little bit about where we're taking videos now, the next step. So one of the things that we look at is we're looking at creating stories in more videos.
Yeah.
We're looking at every video providing as much value to an audience as possible, and then pushing the boundaries of the video itself. We're bringing in 360 videos.
Yeah.
So that's coming out soon. So we hope to do some podcasts in 360, be able to shoot client locations and certain products in 360, be able to do lives in 360. So trying to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
There's other things that we're looking at, like creating better thumbnails, taking all the small details and taking them to the next level, and I guess just talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
and what we think that's going to turn into.
Yeah, I think once we've kind of, I feel like we've caught up in kind of the rat race of content creating. I think we're in it, and now that we're in it, we can kind of see the details. You know, when you're kind of looking at it from an outside perspective, we can study it.
Yeah.
Right? Beforehand, when, you know, now that we're creating JV videos and we're creating our own personal brands, and everyone's kind of in that pool, we can now see the details versus standing outside of the pool and kind of judging other people and saying, oh, this was good or this was bad.
And just figuring out how to do it. Now that we know how to do it, now we can grind down and figure out those nitty-gritty details.
Yeah.
Changing the ISO a little bit, getting different lenses, being able to understand the difference in audio. All of those small details, we've kind of covered that. We figured that out.
Yeah.
So now it's time to grow and take it to the next level.
Well, yeah, and now we can kind of look forward instead of just trying to catch up. Right, we can take it and say, okay, what's 3 steps from now, where should we be? Or 4 steps from now, where should we look?
Yeah.
And that's why incorporating 360 video, that's why looking at different types of video marketing instead of just the same old. I think that's what makes our marketing agency different. That's what makes our team different, because we're starting to look at, okay, now what can we do? Because we weren't there before. Before it was just kind of learning. Before it was just kind of soaking our feet. Now we're in the pool, and now we're like swimming.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, okay, well, we don't want to just be swimming. We want to be, you know, we want to be Michael Phelps in this, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like where we're going is
take it a little further with animations, take it a little further with
Exactly.
the 360.
Yeah.
Just get to the next level and make them even better.
Even better, yeah.
I like it. It. So take me back to your roots. When did you start video?
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the journey, you've been doing multiple things. So when you're handling Qashus, is that where video started for you?
Yeah, I guess I can take it back. Before, I actually used to journal a lot when I was a kid, and I had a small camera that my parents had, and I actually would vlog when I was like 13, 14.
So early on.
I did, yeah, but I never, like, YouTube wasn't around. It was more so just playing around with the camera, having fun, documenting and writing. And that's kind of where the rap stuff kind of slowly, I was getting into more poetry, and I liked making raps.
Yeah.
And the video was there, but it wasn't taken serious until kind of 2013, 2014, when I tried starting a TV show with a friend of mine called The Hero's Journey.
Okay, yeah, take me through that.
So The Hero's Journey was more so, I was trying to do something creative in my undergrad, and I felt very closed, and I couldn't really express myself. And I knew that I wanted to do something with video. I knew I wanted to express myself through video and some sort of musical art form as well. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not confident in videos. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea how to use a camera properly. So me and a friend decided to start The Hero's Journey, and basically the meaning behind The Hero's Journey is actually from a book. It's basically saying how an ordinary man goes through obstacles and trials and tribulations in their life, and then they're the hero of their own journey, basically, and they basically level up, and they're a different man after going through these obstacles. So I felt that was a very intriguing story.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take that story and create a TV series or a YouTube series out of it. Now, me being a dreamer, me being someone who looks at like trying to get to the top, I was thinking trying to go to Omni or go to one of these local channels here in the city and try to pitch that idea and see if it could work. I had hundreds of coffees with people, found guys like Chase and Chris and all these people that were film directors and people in the city, found actors, found script writers. Eventually I put a team of 10 people that were willing to work for free on this project. I kind of pitched it to them, and I was young. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was just speaking.
You were jumping 2 feet in.
Yeah, and that really got my creative juices flowing, and I was looking at opportunities. And long story short, it kind of fell through. But the learning how to storyboard, learning how to write scripts, learning how the process of how something could come together, and learning how other people worked in the film industry, it kind of got me. I was like, okay, now I need my own camera.
You were firing your creative engine there. You were trying to get it going, and you were learning lots fast.
Yeah.
Same way we did this last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the first camera, what was it?
The first camera was a proper camera was Nikon D50-300.
Okay, so that was the first camera where you could shoot the videos that you wanted to shoot.
Yeah.
And vlog and execute that.
Yeah, so I ended up getting that camera. The show kind of fell apart. Everyone was kind of doing their own thing. Yeah. Obviously, without funding and getting people on board, it wasn't really executable. But I ended up starting to do my own vlogs and really getting my YouTube channel kickstarted in 2014. So I started doing challenges. I started doing. I did a little bit of pranks. I did a lot of comedy skits actually. With friends and just testing it out. I bought a green screen, I bought lights. I was editing every single day after coming home from work or coming home from school. And then during that time, kind of YouTube started taking off with YouTube influencers and Instagram celebrities started coming out. And that was when I was like, okay, well, I really love this space and I really want to improve and start building. But I was experimenting with different types of content. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. I was just kind of trying things and seeing what I liked. So nothing really stuck until I started doing the music. And then this was like, okay, this is what I like. This is what I wanted.
So you found your passion and then you chased it hard.
Yeah.
You started creating Qashus. You made it across all platforms. You started making music.
Yeah.
And I love that because you were able to follow that passion intensely and make it happen.
Yeah.
So take me through that journey, because you've told me a couple times, but I think it's a cool one that is worth sharing.
Yeah. Qashus didn't really come about until just like this last year. I was rapping. I was making my own music videos. I was learning marketing at its base level, trying to put text over colors and making thumbnails by myself and learning how to use Adobe. But one thing that I learned from you, Jared, was brand unity and brand consistency.
Keeping it the same across all platforms.
And I was completely off doing it by myself. I didn't know. I thought just as long as I pumped out content that was the right way to do it. But then, working with you and working with the team, I realized I was doing it completely wrong. But again, you don't know until you're in that pool.
And like I said, though, it's not bad, because there's two things to brand unity. Brand unity is the second aspect. The first thing that most people have to do is they have to create that history first, right? You need a history so that when someone sees you, you're there.
Yeah.
You have that backlog of content, that you're credible. Then it's super important to make sure that your brand is consistent across all platforms. It's not saying that you can't have a different profile picture on LinkedIn in comparison to what you have on YouTube, but the overall feel of your brand is consistent and unified across all platforms.
Yeah.
And then you executed that.
Yeah.
And now it looks crazy.
Yeah, I mean it looks clean, and obviously it's still a work in progress, because I realized, like with anything, you need a good team around you, and you need the pieces in play. You can't be great at everything. You can't. If you do everything on your own, you'll never get there. And I realized a lot of artists, they want to. Actors and music producers and rappers and singers, they want to do everything on their own because, obviously paying for that is difficult. You need a lot of money to actually, execute that. So I realized that I want to focus on my strengths, which was, the writing and the rapping and obviously the videos, and then the rest, like the thumbnails, like other parts of marketing, I would have to outsource that and find other people to do that, and I'm okay with that. But a lot of artists aren't. They want to do it all their own, and they'll never get to a point where they'll see the fruits of their labor because they want to do everything on their own. So
it's interesting because you said something to me the other day about the correlation between marketing and the music industry. So touch on that, because musicians and artists are some of the best marketers in the world.
Absolutely.
Take me through why you think that is, and then I'll give you my thoughts after.
So I'm going to relate it back to what you said on another Talk to JV episode, which was authenticity, right? Artists, a lot of true artists and a lot of bigger artists there.
So Logic,
yeah. Guys like Russ, J. Cole, they stick to their personality, they stick to who they are, and they're super authentic. So they don't try to be too polished online. The way they act, the way that what they wear, what they dress, who they are really shines through those videos.
And the audience connects with the musicians and the artists because of their authenticity.
Absolutely.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And then really what takes it to another level is artists and musicians very rarely sell. You never see them go online and say, album discounted this weekend, $6.99, get it now.
Yeah.
Because that's selling and that's losing.
Yeah.
What they do instead is they offer a tremendous amount of value. They talk about their experiences. They talk about their life stories. You know what car they drive. You know everything about them. And you fall in love with that story. And as soon as you fall in love with that story, you fall in love with the music and you connect with it. And from there, everything takes off.
Yeah, and I believe that's why they're essentially the best marketers, or at least record labels that understand that, managers and people that are in the industry that understand that, they know what they're doing because they're not selling. As long as people fall in love with that person, it doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter if it's a hoodie, a mug, a mic, whatever it is, ticket to come to their show, they are willing to do that tenfold because they fall in love with the person, right? They're not selling, they're not pushing. Yeah, here and there you can sell.
Yeah.
Obviously that's needed to survive.
Yeah.
Right? But 95% of it is more so the content they create, kind of showing who they are online and being okay with that.
One of the craziest things about the music industry that I love, and this is something that you taught me because you take me through when we're looking at making new videos and finding new ways to use the cameras and new angles and new transitions, we always go straight to music videos. Because music videos really are the artistic pushing of boundaries of video creation in general.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's your favorite music videos that you show me?
Yeah.
Because I love watching them. You show me new things and then we translate it into the content we create, which is crazy.
Yeah. One of my favorite music videos is A$AP Rocky's I think it's called Forever.
Yeah. Is that the one where the camera goes over top?
The camera goes over top, and it just keeps the whole music video. The camera's just going up,
and it just keeps circling. That's the one we wanted to do for an intro or for a commercial one day.
Yeah. So that is because not only is it cinematic, but it's also each kind of clip represents who he is, and the scenarios that he's in are scenarios that relate to not only the song that he's rapping, but himself. So it's very cool if you really break down that music video, it's not just artistic, but artistic, cinematic, there's a story. It's just really well put together. So that Kanye West also has a lot of music videos that the underlying story is what really makes it. But they're willing to push those boundaries.
It's fair to say that if you're looking to push the boundaries of video creation right now, go sit on YouTube and watch music videos day and night. Look what they're doing. Look where they're taking it forward. Because what we see in music videos now will translate into regular video 5 years from now.
Yeah, and you obviously, watching other music videos, you obviously don't want to get too influenced by what other people are doing. However, the cinematic feel, the transitions, like you said, the angles, the kind of looking at it and saying, okay, how did he think of that, will help you or help us in kind of the long run of making videos of like, okay, well, why don't we try this angle? Why don't we try this transition? Why don't we take it a step further and do this, right? Yeah. Versus trying to do the traditional route of things. And I feel like even with our podcasts, even with what we're doing, contents for clients, I feel like we're looking to push the boundaries in that sense, where it can still be translated. It doesn't have to be a music video, but it can be done in a podcast. It can be done in a corporate video.
Yeah.
And that's what creates that difference.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yusuf, what do we got for time on the cameras as we get going here?
We're we're still good.
We're still good? Okay.
Yeah. Well, while you said that, let's just restart.
Fire it up.
Yeah.
We have...
Okay.
All right, we're good?
Yeah.
Done. You said something earlier, Q, that I wanted to touch on because I didn't know this. So when you were saying the hero's journey was kind of about the journey and taking it to the next level, it just the bells went off in my head because you guys, you're the co-founder of the Second Floor podcast.
Yeah.
And really, I see a correlation between what you were doing there and here now.
Yeah.
In the way that you guys named it. So take me through how you came up with Second Floor, and I think it's come full circle now.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how things work. I've always been someone who's been interested, and I look up to people that are constantly elevating in their lives. And Yusuf knows this, you know this, but it's one of those things that I've always tried to emulate, and I learned from people that are always constantly pushing those boundaries. So I wanted to, again, going back to the content creating, I wanted to find a way to provide value. I wanted to find a way to consistently drop something every single week. And I know with the music stuff, I know I can't do that right now. And I listen to a couple podcasts. I listen to a lot of YouTubers. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and they all kind of say the same sort of things, but in their own kind of personalities. And so I wanted to create something that I could drop on a weekly basis without having to spend, a whole 2-3 weeks to produce. And podcasting sounded very, very intriguing. Me and Yusuf kind of got together and we were trying to think of something, and it's funny because in our old office he was, when we were talking about this idea, I think it was on a Saturday morning, and he was running up and down the stairs.
And you could hear it. The dust was probably coming off the roof.
And we were talking, that's how bad it was. Yeah. That's how old that office was. It was very dirty, but it was funny because the second floor wasn't actually made. It was still being built. So he was walking up and down the stairs, and I was sitting kind of on the first floor, and we were like, okay, what name should we come up with? And he kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. And I was like, why don't we call it the Second Floor? And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. It's kind of corny, this and that. I was like, no, like, let me tell you why. And it was about getting to that next level, trying to create content at that next level, and then the metaphor kind of relayed back to our own lives. We're trying to push, we're trying to learn, and we're trying to get to that next level. So I was like, this could actually be, this is a great, simple name that could be used. And then we're like, okay, we'll try it. Yeah. It didn't really stick in with us. Yeah. But it was like, okay, we'll try it. So we tried it for 10 weeks. We brought on Kenny, and said we'll give each other 10 episodes, and if we can work this out, great. If not, then we'll just wrap it up and say we tried it, great. After 10 weeks, we were consistent. Kenny would show up every Sunday, Yusuf as well.
Got her done.
It was like, okay, we'll just continue to do this. And
it's interesting because you guys introduced podcasts and the content for us, because we saw what was happening on the Second Floor, and we saw what's happening just in general, and podcasts were taking off.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it is something that you said to me that was crazy, that kind of made the light bulb go off, was making a podcast allows you to make a tremendous amount of content efficiently.
Yeah.
Because you shoot for 20 to 40 minutes. Like I said before, I thought I could keep it within 20, but I know every single time we go to 40 now.
Yeah.
But you get your 20 to 40 minutes of content, and then you get to take those nuggets out. You get to make short videos out of it for Second Floor, for JV, for whatever podcast you're making.
Yeah.
And it translates into this volume of content that you can transpire out and create touch points with. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it relates back to what you say all the time is creating subconscious touch points.
Yeah.
Every time, and that's one of the pillars of marketing for you.
Keep your brand at the top of people's minds, and when they're ready for their product, for that product that you offer, they're going to come talk to you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to sell. You don't have to do anything. At the end of the day, you're going to provide a ton of value, run that subconscious inbound cycle, and when you run the inbound and you're looking for a conversion, if the people are ready, they're going to think of you and come back to you. And it's a volume of content, and it's hard to make a volume of content. We have a full team
Yeah.
to make a volume of content, and still this makes it efficient.
Yeah.
It makes it easy for us to do. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now for one of the recurring episodes of these episodes, talking about your quote.
Yes.
So
let me pull up the quote.
Let's first set this up, because Hugh's been watching all of these episodes, and he said that if he ever got on #TalkToJV,
Yeah.
which we easily made happen,
Yeah.
he would come in with a money quote. And I haven't heard the quote yet, so I'm pumped to hear
right.
this one.
All right. I want you to hear it.
All right.
The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man.
Craziness. So, first, who said that? Do we
So it
know?
was George Bernard Shaw who said that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so Q comes on the show with this super deep quote. I didn't hear it before, so I'm pondering. But really, if I think about it quickly, it's really encapsulates everything you said today.
Yeah.
From a hero's journey to the second floor
Yeah.
to this, it's all about pushing boundaries. From what we've done with videos, pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
It's about everything in your life, pushing boundaries and becoming more, becoming better, and changing the world as we go along with it.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I love that quote so much is because everything that I've done in my life creatively has been unreasonable. You know, to my parents, rapping is my family is super conservative.
Yeah.
You know, they're not ones to be on video. They don't even understand that side of things. My parents to this day don't understand what I do. So the idea is I'm being unreasonable to my family and friends. People didn't know me as a rapper. People didn't know me as a video guy. You know, people don't know me as a videographer in the city. They don't know that, and as they shouldn't, because I never showed that side of myself. I always had that, almost in high school, I always had that fear of expressing myself. I always kind of held back. I was always just trying to focus on myself, and I was pretty introverted. High school finished, went into university, and I couldn't help myself. Now I was kind of alone, didn't really have many friends, kind of had my inner circle. And then I realized I had to introspect, and I had to really sit down with myself and say, what do I really want? What do I really want to do? And that was creating content. That was kind of being creative. And then I one day said, just screw it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try it. And I don't care if I look like a fool online. I don't care. I made my first music video. It wasn't good. You know, I spent $700 on my first song. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had to I had to be stubborn with it, because I was like, I want this. You know, going through the pain of trying to make content and not knowing how to use a camera, not knowing how to market myself, not knowing if people would like it. And people didn't like it. People actually would unfriend me on Facebook. And people would message me and be like, you should just stick to what you're doing. Stick to sciences, stick to biology. And I still remember that to this day, and I understand that a lot of the greats, a lot of the people that do things are unreasonable, are the ones that are stubborn in their life. So I'm not supposed to be here. You know, I'm not supposed to be in this seat talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be
But you're here.
You know, I'm not supposed to be making videos full time. I'm not supposed to have a podcast, right? So pushing this to be where I am today, I'm super blessed, and I know that it was because of me being unreasonable. And so if anything people can learn from me is to be unreasonable in the things that you want. So.
Dude, I'm not even going to go past that. I'm not even going to add on to that, because you just crushed that.
Yeah.
And I agree, right?
Yeah.
Push the boundaries, man. Be unreasonable,
yeah.
and good things can happen. You add in a little bit of hard work and elbow grease, and look at you now. You're sitting here doing videos full time.
Yeah.
We're learning every single day, and you're taking Qashus to the next level. Yeah. So just keep doing that, man. Yeah.
And again, respect to you, JB. I've always kind of looked up to you and seeing what you're doing, just kind of showing you doing you and being who you are kind of also inspires me every single day to be in this office. And
right back at you guys.
Right,
every single person in this office keeps me coming every single day, and we're working super hard.
Yeah.
And we're learning lots. We're trying to look further ahead than what's current today. and we're excited about what this next couple years, next 5 years is going to look like. So I love it. Q.
All right, man.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for letting me be on and blessing.
Well, that was an easy one. That was an easy one. I talked to Kenny a couple weeks ago, and I'm excited to be on the second floor soon.
Absolutely.
And
have you on.
We'll make some good content and keep this going.
Love it.
Done. Thanks, Q.